There we go. We are now live. Hi, I'm Rabbi Brian. This is service number 300. We have been doing the Saturday service for long enough. Today is the 13th. Oh, I got a little bit of an echo happening. 2025. And I am joined by a whole group of people. There's a whole group of people. Hello, whole group of people. Let me pop out the chat.
Hello.
Joined by a group of people, and this is an experiment in doing religion a little bit differently. We have never done the same liturgy twice. The one piece of liturgy thing that we do all the time, and I will get this out of the way at the beginning, is this is the most frequently done prayer or thing said at the service, which is, it's okay not to be okay. And I've spoken to a few people this week who, it's winter in the northern hemisphere. It is a rough time of year. Politics don't help much, and it's okay not to be okay. You do not need to be happy, joy to be a part of this service. Another announcement, and the request this time was without song. So we want to wish Dan Cooperstock a happy birthday. And because Dan cares about music, he has opted to not have us sing. I want to show you.
Thank you.
So happy birthday, Dan. Here is what happened outside. We were having dinner last night. Annie invited a number of her friends. There were 9 of us, so 7 teenagers, and the dogs start going absolutely bonkers last night. They are barking up a storm, don't know why, and we see something's happening in the yard, and it is this. It is called being flocked. So a whole bunch of flamingos wound up on my lawn, and it said 300 would not fit, and that was the entire clue as to who sent these. And I have not figured out the exact person yet. They have yet to tell me who they are, but this is to celebrate service number 300.
Oh, how great.
That's beautiful.
Oh, Eric, I had to mute you. There was a little extra sound going on there. So welcome to service number 300, where we are today. I'm going to do this thing that I enjoy doing, which is I'm going to take a moment to look at all of your faces on the screen. And I'm going to take a moment to be proud, because this is the 300th of these services. And we started this in the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, I didn't know, none of us knew what to do. And I started having a daily meeting, and then that became a little unsustainable. And that became weekdays, and then it just became, let's have a service on Fridays and have people join. And this is where all of you come in. And we have learned a lot in 299 services. I have learned a lot. And the biggest thing that I've learned, and then I'm going to hand the microphone over, but the biggest thing
there's a mutiny afoot.
It's not a mutiny if I hand it over. Maybe it is. But let's also remember, I'm the only one who has the password to this Zoom meeting. I wanted to do a quick refresher that there was the day that some of you voiced how I should be running the service, and I offhandedly say, let's remember this is not a democracy. And then when I usually log out and you guys continue with small rooms afterwards, instead of leaving, I shut the entire meeting down. How many of you remember that? That was quite a day. I shut the whole meeting down, and then everyone joined back in. So here's the one thing I wanted to say. And then I will turn it over to, I think, Meg and other people.
It's Captain Meg, who is the leader of the mutinous crowd.
That doesn't really surprise me.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Meg lead a mutinous crowd?
So
But I'm sitting down.
I will say, now I'm going to say two things. One, Meg, I fell in love with you the day that you and I had chatted after a service because there was some point you wanted to make, and you were totally correct. And I said, would you please bring this up at the next service, and just bring it up as though it was something occurring to you, and then we can have a discussion. And Meg, you, instead of, well, you did it quite literally. You said, Rabbi, is this when you want me to interrupt you like we had planned? And I learned, I knew who I was dealing with at that point. So let me say this: when I was younger, I used to do magic shows. I would do magic tricks, and I would carry a deck of cards with me anywhere I went in the off chance that somebody wanted to see a magic trick. And over time, and then in working as a synagogue rabbi, I was playing a role. I was playing a role of rabbi, and I was in a sense, like I wasn't any longer hiding behind props and cards and bless you. I was now hiding a little bit less, but I was hiding behind the robe. Not literally. We didn't wear a robe all the time. But I was hiding behind the liturgy. And I was hiding behind the pulpit. Thank you, Rob. What I have learned, and then the first 150 services, I had an outline. And I thought that we should follow that outline. And somewhere along the lines, I realized, no, the group wants to go where the group wants to go, and I need to let go some. And it was somewhere around service number 297 where I showed up without an outline. And it went just fine. And I realized that I didn't need to, I'm realizing that it's just being present, which is the game.
Yeah.
It's just being present. It's not how clever of a quote can I bring. It's not, it's just being present to the group as a whole. And I got a note from John. I don't see John on screen. There's John. Hi, John. I got a beautiful note from John, and I'm getting a little choked up, explaining why he keeps coming. And he says it's not for the quotes, though the quotes are wonderful. It's not for, but it's the presence of me and the presence of everyone who shows up. And that's why he keeps coming. John, I'm paraphrasing some, but I think I'll take your nod that that's close enough. That it's just being present. And I can't think of any better way of doing a religious service, that there should be anything we do more than being present. So that being said, I'm going to hand over the reins tentatively. It's like, I feel like it was when I had Emmett drive the car for the first time. And coincidentally, it was also that very same day was the first time he got into an accident. Not 30 seconds after he started driving, he got the brake and the gas confused, and we hit a retaining wall. But we're fine. So with that introduction, Meg, it's yours.
Well, Alex, you need to do your thing.
My thing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which thing that was supposed to be now.
Basically,
Mute him.
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's
I muted
right.
him.
Yeah, the mutiny there. Sorry.
I get it.
I had a bad night last night, so.
Sorry.
I get it. It's a mutiny because you're muting me. I'll go back on
Yeah,
mute
it's a
now.
mutiny. So mute the fuck up. Okay.
We want you to stay muted for a little while. Although we have a safe signal for you if you get really anxious and nervous and want to go running through the night or something. And that is you hold up the it's okay not to be okay sign. But we're hoping you don't do that for a little while. And I need to say to the newcomers that this is a really different service because usually we don't mute the rabbi, even though some of us have done that in the past. If you stick around for a while, you will hear examples about the rabbi's message and the difference his message has made in many of our lives. Facebook people, when I tell you what's happening, you can use the chat, and if it's okay for somebody to read what you've written, please indicate that. Now, for the whole group, the rabbi cannot put a value on what he does, but we can, and we can tell him. We have muted the rabbi so that we have a chance to tell him what a difference he has made in our individual lives. A couple of sentences about a change or a lesson that you really remember or a tool that has been helpful. And there's a group of us that knew this was coming, so we already have our little speeches ready. So the rest of you can take a couple of minutes and figure out what you would like to say. I'm going to start. Rabbi Brian, you have helped me understand my own spirituality partly because of the Fromm teachings. You have helped me through some really, really difficult days in my life. And you have told me and taught me how to be kinder and nicer to people, including 6 people in a row. Not just the 5. You've made it easier for me to admit mistakes, partly from your examples, and encouraged me to realize my worth and to know that I am enough.
Oh.
Maria, do you want to go?
Amen.
I will go. The tools run through my head all the time, every day, sort of thing. Sometimes it's annoying because you're sort of always in my head.
Slow
You
down.
can't do that. You can't unmute.
But I wanted to say thank you.
Say it at the end.
Yeah, say it at the end. So the tools run through my head, sort of thing, all day, every day. But what I really want to say is that I tell people more often that I love them. And I tell new people who enter my life, such as the people on the screen here, that I love them sooner because I want to share the love. I don't want them to not know, sort of thing. And that has meant the world to me. And I have just a short second message from the person who lives downstairs. Mom wants you to know that she loves you and that she can see how important this is to me. And a couple weeks ago, she accused me of being more willing to be kind than she was, sort of thing. And so I immediately blamed you. So, only seemed fair. So I just want to say that I thank you and I love you.
Amen.
Somebody else want to go?
I'll go.
Okay.
I was gonna say that Rabbi and I have known each other for a really long time. I'm thinking 20, 25 years, somewhere around that point. And he was always kind of sort of at the periphery of my life until COVID hit. And then this was created. And this has made a huge impact on me because the people who I'm looking at on this screen right now are my best friends. Okay.
Oh.
And there's been a ton of lessons that Rabbi has taught. There's one that I use all the time when I'm explaining things to other people. The 5 levels of learning. I use that so often in explaining stuff to other people as they're learning stuff. But those lessons are super valuable. But what has been the most important and never would have happened had it not been for Brian facilitating the group and creating this environment is all of your smiling faces, and you know who you are because there's too many of you to mention, who are my buddies, who talk to me, who message me, who text me, who get together in other Zoom meetings, throughout the week. You guys are my friends, and I would never have met any one of you without Brian. And so, Brian, I thank you because it has meant the difference between having no friends and having a whole bunch of them.
Somebody else, let's just do this like popcorn.
Okay, I'll go next.
I want to go too. And I didn't prepare for this, but I can tell you this. It's not just the tools and my friends that I have made. And I've been amazed how I can feel so close to people on Zoom. I mean, who would think that you care and I care. You care about me and I care about you, and that's what Rabbi has taught me. So, and also the support and the cheering section that Rabbi has been. But I'll tell you, the very most impactful thing was the very first time, and I think I've said this before, that I clapped eyes on Rabbi. And I sort of timidly asked, would you be my rabbi? I'd never heard of such a thing. I mean, I was stepping out of my comfort zone. And you said to me, you would be honored to be my rabbi. Well, I'll tell you something that really transformed something in my life. So I thank you. And I love you.
Ray?
For me, there's many things, but I think the thing that I have been taught through these many sessions is to be more loving and accepting of other people and the way they are. May not be the way I want them to be, but the way they are. And by accepting them as they are, I have learned to accept myself better and accept myself for who I am and be more loving to them and therefore be more loving to myself. Because I, like so many other people, I can really, really get down on myself. And he has taught me not to do that because I'm as worthy of love and respect as all the other people that I want to love and be respectful to. And for that, I thank you. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and I love you.
Jack?
Yeah, for me, it's always a novel Saturday, and what doesn't change is the truth, the love, and the kindness I hear from everybody, and I hope it never changes.
Thank you, Jack. Diana?
As someone who was really quite wounded by traditional religion, I left the church as I knew it once and never went back and never looked back. But I did find myself seeking, and Brian and this community is the first place that felt safe enough and resonant enough with my heart and my spirit for me to lean in and be present. And I really got involved when my husband was getting really, really sick and was in crisis, and I was in crisis. And Brian, you literally helped me stay vertical through that. I felt like I did a giant trust fall into your arms, and you caught me. And on the outbound pass, I feel like my experience with everyone in this community and you, Brian, I've become a more loving, consciously loving person. And what greater gift is that? So I thank you all. And I knew I'd cry. I love you.
Oh, love you. Ron?
I first met Rabbi Brian at my son's wedding that he was officiating. And I followed him around the hall, and he was just incredibly fascinating. And he gave me the ROTB card with the info on it, but I didn't join yet because for whatever reason. And then a tragedy happened to one of the folks here who was a friend of mine outside of ROTB. And I kept getting reports from other mutual friends about how they
I'm off camera and
Right there.
how they had been comforted and cared for and experienced such incredible compassion. And so I joined, and I got to see this compassion in action. And in talking to Rabbi, I learned to have compassion for myself.
Yeah.
And sorry, bad cold. But that is so important to me. And everyone here and the poetry room. The poetry room happened for a while. I joined it. It was wonderful. And then it sort of faded away, and I couldn't let go because I love poetry. And I got an opportunity to take part in the service itself. And again, another thing that comes down to compassion. So, thank you.
Dan?
Yeah, for me, it's partly the it's okay not to be okay, and then there were several services where we talked about vulnerability, and I think I've really been able to be more vulnerable, which includes recognizing and speaking up if I've been hurt in ways that were more open and emotional than I would have been willing or able to do in the past. I sometimes tell people, and I know this is one aspect of what we're doing, that in some ways this is like group therapy, and it isn't always, but there are aspects that are like that. And to me, that aspect is really important because it's much more emotional, which is not something I'm great at, than any other religious group I'm part of. So I really value that. Thank you, Brian, and everyone, because it is a group thing. It's all of us.
Lori?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Rabbi Brian for taking me on as your only intern ever. And I really, really appreciated that. I've known Rabbi for years, and he helped me through the death of my little 22-month-old niece. And he's done multiple things that have been helpful. My example is pretty specific, and I don't know that anyone else would have noticed it, but I still meditate on it today. We were talking to someone, and I mistakenly said, well, you're good to us, we're good to you, kind of thing. And it was transactional. And I don't know if you recall, Rabbi, but you stopped me and you said, unconditional love isn't transactional. If you do something good for someone, that's it. That's all. You can't expect anything back. And I grew up in a home where a lot of things are transactional, and when I came here, I thought I knew about unconditional love, and your teachings and that particular comment made a huge difference in my life. And it may not have been a big moment for anyone else, but it was a really big moment for me to see that I was expecting back from people that I'd given to, and now I'm able to give, usually, but able to give without expectation of return. So I thank you very much for that, and for the wonderful experience of being with everyone. And speaking of unconditional love, I was taken in by your group and loved from the beginning, and still have great relationships with people, and it's meant the world to me. Thanks.
Ruth?
I am part of Rabbi's COVID group. And I don't know if I've ever said thank you enough for keeping me sane in those weeks, because I would suddenly look at my watch and say, I'm coming, Rabbi, I'm coming. And you were there when we all needed you. And I cannot tell you how important that was for me. I'm also, my two mantras in my life are, it's okay not to be okay, and be kind rather than being right. I have a German background, and I need to be right. And I've discovered that being kind works much better. So thank you, and thank you all for supporting this wonderful rabbi.
Thank you. Harold and Connie?
I wanted to thank him. We belong to a church all our entire lives, and that community becomes part of your family. And when the community started acting out in ways that we did not like, we left the church. And it took us a while. Harold finally found Rabbi Brian, and it took us a while to find him. But I now feel a part again of a community that cares and will listen to what you have to say. And it's a community that I can embrace, because our ideas and our feelings are all pretty much the same. It's not a group of people who have this way or that way. And if you don't do it my way, you're out of the way, you know, kind of things. So I just appreciate the ability to come to a group of people and feel like you are a part of a family again, a large family. And thank you.
Jeff?
One of the things that I love about this group is what it doesn't do. There is no dogma. There is no ritual. There is no talking down. We are about as democratic a group of how many, 43 people as you can find anywhere in the world right now. And I find that to be wonderful. The teachings that I have learned from Rabbi Brian are making your spirituality personal. It's not about religion, it's about spirituality. And I cannot thank Rabbi Brian enough for helping me learn that.
Yeah.
Is there another person that would like to say something to the rabbi? Wow, he's muted.
I would. Larice has her hand up.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch it. Larice?
Oh, yeah. I know I'm a newbie, but I know what I want and I know what I like. And I am in touch with my heart and my body. So I don't know if I should say this, but I'm in Wendy's meditation group since COVID, and she's the one that referred. I don't know if she's here today, but she referred me to you, and I've been practicing for a long time with a community that is very heart loved on Zoom. You know, I understand that we do get connected on Zoom from the heart. You know, who knew? I thought you had to be in person to feel it, but no, the meditation that we started doing during COVID. I started with a Sunil, who's a meditation leader, and then he went off and did his other, and then she took over the group, which is absolutely wonderful. I hope you're here, Wendy. I love you. So the first day, I knew that was for me. And you are so honest and open, Rabbi Brian, and so you laugh, you're funny, you're you know. And I wanted to touch bases with my Judaism. Also, that part of me, even though I'm not practicing Jude, I mean, it's part of my heritage. But I wanted to come and find something that that would, I don't know, but I just knew in the first day that this was for me, and and I really love that there's no agenda, there's no religion, you know, it's just right up my alley. And you're an amazing person. And I loved you from the first day. The first day I loved you, Rabbi. Because you're
Wonderful.
You're so original, and you're so you, and my guide dog loves you too. His name is Oliver. So I could go on right now, but I love all of you guys, everybody, and the group, because I felt your warmth because being new, and you just brought me in. So
wonderful. Maria?
I'm going to read Shirley's comment from Facebook. She says, "Where to begin? RB and I have a marvelous friendship that has been safe. He has exhibited kindness, compassion, and love above all else. RB has shared his knowledge and wisdom and love. I am proud to call him my friend and my rabbi."
Is there anybody else?
Yeah. I would like.
Candace.
Oh, okay. Rita?
Oh, okay. Well, I've known Rabbi Brian longer than I can remember, which is a problem, but my memory is not what it used to be. We started, when I first met him, we were writing a murder mystery together. And that never got written, actually, but it really connected for me anyway. And then coming to these gatherings every Saturday morning has been my church. I really love what I hear and find here, and the kindness and love that Rabbi Brian plans, roots, I'll get it. You see, well, he has created a group that believes in kindness and love. And that to me is the spiritual perspective that I can go along with. And all of you, I really feel like, even though I don't know you, I do know you. And Rabbi, I really appreciate everything you've done all these years. Thank you. That'll do it.
Bob?
Thank you. That I've been really impressed with Brian and value that the group that he has drawn toward him. And many of you know that in my lifetime, that I was part of a religious community, and that in that community, my name was Henry or Hank. And so one of the things that Brian did is that he kind of combined a couple of things so uh, in a playful mode, that I'm known as Bonk, which is a combination of Bob and Hank. And so that he has been an inspiration, and has become a friend, and that I value that.
Thank you, Bob. Candace?
Thanks. I don't have a lot to say, but of course, Rabbi, you've created the atmosphere in this group, just leading by example. And although I'm very glad it hasn't happened recently, there were times when I was grieving the loss of my mom, the loss of a really good friend, and even cats that had died. And I thought some people are going to think it's silly to cry about a cat, but all I felt here and got here was love and acceptance, and not having to feel embarrassed about being a feeling human being. So I thank all of you. I didn't think I was going to tear up, and here I am tearing up. I thought, oh no, I'm stunted. I'm not going to cry. Well, I'm not crying yet. But just thank you for this creation of yours that has become a loving and caring and non-judgmental community. And I really hope to meet you in person one day. I love you too. That's it for me.
Anne?
In the leadership programs that I have been part of, they talk about leadership and what is good leadership. And a good leader, if you ask the people following a good leader, they will say, oh, yes, oh, yes, he is a good leader. He has done many, many great things. But a great leader, if you ask the people who follow him, they will say, oh, him, yeah, he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. But you know what? We have done things ourselves. Together, we do a lot of good things ourselves with each other. And that is the mark of a great leader. And that is what you are, Rabbi.
Anybody else?
Rabbi's putting his hand up.
Okay, he was supposed to wave his okay card, but that's all right. We'll allow him to speak.
He was never good at following directions.
I know.
That's me. I never follow directions. I just start opening up a package or a box or something without reading the directions. And my wife comes and tells me, if you read the directions, you'd have that box open already and be eating what's inside. Sometimes I am slow to the draw. And Bob was the one who introduced me to this program. And it really came in a manner I consider providential, that God put me in this place for where I was at in my life. And while it was a little scary at first, I really began to develop a brotherly, sisterly love towards all of you. And it just kept building the more I got to know each of you, that today I can say my love is agape, the fullest spiritual love that a person can have for another. And this is the result of Rabbi Brian having this program and leading us to great heights. And I feel that I would be a different person if I wouldn't have come to take part in this. But I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad to have met all of you. And I'm glad that Rabbi Brian is our great leader.
Okay, Brian.
I can wait it out if there's somebody else.
I cannot see hands that are raised unless you do it electronically.
Okay. Time for my. I took
Do we want to cast blame on for the lawn ornaments?
So I don't know what part of it did I say any of this since 8 o'clock came? No. So last night we were having dinner and there was a ruckus outside. No, that's not true. There was a ruckus in the house because the dogs were going fucking nuts because something was happening in my front yard. And I didn't know what or but something was happening in the front yard. We went outside and we saw this. Wait, hold on. We went outside. Hold on. Let's go. I'll show you this and then we'll go to Betsy. Where is this? Okay. You know, back 300 episodes ago, that's funny. I would panic when the technology did what it's doing right now, which is working. I would panic when the technology wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So this is what we saw outside our house. A flock of flamingos, which is known as a flamboyance of flamingos. And with the sign, and the only hint as to why there was a flock of flamingos were the words 300 would not fit. The flamingos continue on to the next lawn as well. So, okay. And I see Betsy has her hand up, so I'd love to hear from Betsy before I talk.
Okay, yes. I just wanted to express my unending gratitude for the wonderful community that I've found here. It kind of started when kind of near the beginning of when I first discovered this place. I just experienced a terrible tragedy when my best friend died suddenly and tragically, and we were in our group, and there was one of the we were being put into smaller groups, and I was with a few people, and I happened to, I hadn't broken it out to the whole group, but I mentioned to this little group that what had been happening in my life. And when we got back into the big group, Rabbi had been told somehow about what had happened and to me, and he asked me if I would like to go into a small group with some people who could be especially supportive. And somehow, just absolutely the right people were in there with me, and it was like I was being surrounded by love, by people who knew just what kinds of questions to ask, and so on, and what kind of support and comfort to be, and that has sustained me all these years, and through COVID and everything else that's been happening. And I unending thank you so much.
Thank you, Betsy. Okay.
Rob's got his hand up.
I think that was a thumbs up. So, I thank all of you. I think of and I want to take in everything that everyone says. And this phrase from a talk I heard of Alan Watts comes to mind. And he said that birds don't sing so that a musician walking by can be inspired. And rivers don't flow so that a deer can stop and take a drink. The bird and the river are just doing what they do. I put my compass point towards north, and north is kindness, compassion, and love.
Yeah.
And I didn't fucking plan any of this. I couldn't have. All I could do is lead with compassion, kindness, and love. And that's all I do. And I would do it. Emily, you showed up to a service a long time ago before COVID. And Emily was the only one who showed up to that talk that I gave. I don't know if you remember this, Emily. There was one person who showed up. And Emily sat there, engaged, asking questions, filling up the space that the 10 people I was hoping would be there to make enough people to have. Emily filled up the space with her good intentions, her kindness, her love. And it was a beautiful thing. And then fortunately COVID happened and we got a lot more people.
So we can thank COVID.
Yeah. I tell people that before COVID, the hardest part of my job was trying to get people to download and try this thing called Zoom. And then fortunately, everyone learned how to use Zoom.
Brian,
Yes.
I just want to make note of something that Emily put in the chat when you were just explaining that you weren't trying to do this sort of thing. She said, just swallow.
I'm taking in the compliment, but it's also, I mean, how do you eat an elephant? You can't just swallow an elephant. You got to go a piece at a time. I'm delighted. Also, the timing this week could not be any more fortuitous for me. I had a rough reception with some of the Jews at my home congregation last week. And it reminds me of that 4-to-1 ratio of 4 compliments and positives for every negative, because the distasteful has a stickiness to it that compliments don't. The half-life of shame is really long. And so this is the balm that that heals. I think there's something a little wrong with me. Okay, don't all agree at once. I think there's something wrong with me. I don't fit in, except where I fit in. I'm not. I heard a groom, very strange groom I was working with for a wedding, and he used the phrase, he said, "I'm not a flavor for everyone."
Thank goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
You must have grown.
It's just amazing. And what I want to say is all I'm doing is being me.
And that's enough.
And that's enough. I'll add in one other piece. When I met my best friend Larry, and if you've read my book, you know there's a lot of tribute to him. I met him and I saw how kind he was. And I thought, I want to do that too. I want to be that person. Now, I'm a lot saltier, and Larry's a little more vanilla. But I've gotten to be as kind as Larry. And from what I'm hearing, and I took notes from what you guys are saying, you all are doing that too. And I guess let's just keep doing it.
That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to put all your beautiful faces up on the screen again. Thank you for being my friends. Thank you for playing with me. Thank you for experimenting with me. For accepting me. And this one might sound a little strange, but thank you for letting me love you. And thank you for, I heard from a few of you, walking through that awkward part of not feeling very comfortable, but getting towards loving yourselves is beautiful. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording as soon as I find the right button.
Prayer list.
Wait,
Oh,
we
let's
got
do a prayer list.
We need a special shout out to Jeff Horner, who there were a number of us who were involved in the plot for the flamingos, but Jeff was the one who actually made the phone calls to make sure that they arrived at your house. So Jeff deserves a special shout out because that was good job, Jeff.
And let's do, I totally forgot, let's do a prayer list for all those people whose hearts need a little extra love. Maria, help us out, would you?
This is the list of people for this week. Alex, Sheridan H., Arlene Hill, Ebony, Beth Carney, Jason, Gwen, Reed, and Viv, Jaden, Mark, Kevin, Marilyn, and Sylvia, Monica, Joanne, Kelly, and Mary, Rita S., Shirley W., Patrick Nolan, Cullen and kids, and Cindy Conlin. There's another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love. Please put their name in the chat, and I will add them to the list on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Thank you all. One of the things that I have talked with a number of people, a number of you about, people who aren't on right now, is how do you measure the success of a religious group? Is it by the number of people who show up? Is it by the beautiful building that they have? And one of the metrics that I came up with Al Brown was how I feel at the end of the service is a way of calculating how successful that service was. Well, this is number one service. I feel all of the love. Thank you all. We'll break into small groups after we say goodbye to the people watching on Facebook. Goodbye, people on Facebook and YouTube.